Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening everyone, welcome along to another installment of the AOR Hype Season 18 PC F1 League. We are here for round number 13, unlucky for some, here in Belgium at the prestigious circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. One of, if not the best track on the Formula 1 racing calendar. That is a debate that has circumvented a lot on Formula 1. And it produces some fantastic racing. We've seen some of that in real life and in AOR, of course. Remember last season, in season 16, where Former Danny took the win, but it wasn't easy for him whatsoever. He had, I believe, Philip Presneider and someone else. I can't remember. But that was a stunning race, and we've seen a lot in the past, even in F1 Esports as well. But famous corners, La Source, Eau Rouge, Radion, Les Combes, Pouon, Stabilo, the bus stop chicane, Blanchimont. I can go on forever and ever how good this circuit is, and I am stoked for what the 13 drivers have in store for us at a 7-kilometer circuit with 2 DRS zones. Obviously one down the start and finish straight, but mainly the one down towards the one that Kemmel straight, which will provide the best chance for overtaking at a track where it's 7 kilometers long and we take it at full throttle for 70%. Qualifying should be interesting. It is a dry qualifying at the moment, but who knows what we'll have in store for the race. I am James Costello, one of your commentators for tonight's race, and joining me alongside the commentary box for another time is Jens. Good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
How are we excited for this race? I always am. There's just a hint of drama like Belgium just gives us, and it's always delivered, and I have no doubt that it'll continue today.
No, of course, it is one of these classic tracks that we're always looking forward to, and of course with the racing we've seen before on this track, we're only hoping and expecting to get that once again.
Are you back in the session?
Yes, I am. So we can just jump straight into the race. Oh, I see what I've done. Just give me a second there. It's OBS doesn't want to pick up the game as always, but I know what I have done wrong. It should pick it up now. If we wait a second and just there we go. There should be a hole through now. Right, we can see the drivers currently out on their bank laps here at the start. We haven't gotten any time set yet. A couple of drivers out, all of them on the soft tires, I believe, if my game is not having any trouble there. And then we see here Fabricio Donoso once again back on the grid. Haven't been here or haven't at least been able to complete a race for the last 3 rounds. 2 of them he has been absent, and 1 of them he just did not finish the race. He is on his way down to the almost or mostly flat out Pouon. Long sweeping left-hander coming down that long hill. After you climb up on it through Rouge and Radion.
First time to the board. Hype is 141.9. Obviously, last time out he won here back in Hungary. His first ever win in this tier, and hopefully he can build on that momentum, get the monkey off his back, and then he can just unleash some utterly dominating pace. Hopefully not dominant, because we do want to see a lot of fantastic racing. I'm sure he will, but Hyper's making the perfect start, as Denoso actually pits. So obviously, I think going wide at Puan really cost him. Very easy to invalidate on the exit there. Very easy to invalidate a lot of corners, especially at Lacombe. You know, the swooping right, then left, then right. It's very hard to nail all three, and if you just misjudge one of them, then that could be your lap ruined. You know, the last thing you want to do is invalidate your lap so early on, because you've still got another 2 minutes. Just thereabout of lifting off to do before you can get back into the pits. And because it's only 18 minutes worth of qualifying, then having a mistake on one of those laps could rule out a potential for another lap on a soft compound tyres. So getting those early banker laps in are really important, just for that confidence boost to maybe improve on a few tenths going into the latter stages.
Yes, it certainly is, and we're seeing some drivers here setting these 141 times and 145 times, which means that it is just a very long track, and Martin actually retiring from the session and leaving the session. He may have some issues there, meaning he can't complete today's race for whatever reasons, maybe some connection issues.
Trying to see, did he retire? As a Zayoff I can sector 3. I think it's just for Preznator just slowing down. I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Strange what's happened to Martin. He did set a banker of a 145 dead on, but obviously that's not competitive enough for this tier. But yeah, strange. He's out of the session. Hopefully, if he can rejoin, that'll be great. But by retiring, that gives me the indication that that was not internet issues. So yeah, I doubt he'll be coming back. But yeah, a shame.
Yes, of course, it is always a shame to lose drivers, but one thing we can do here, we can, for the next lap here, we can find a driver, maybe hop on board and ride along. It doesn't seem that any drivers are close to starting their laps. I was thinking we can hop on board and take a hot lap, but no, it doesn't seem like it. We will have to wait just a couple of more minutes before we can have a proper hot lap of this circuit. But yeah, Hyper's setting that 141.9 times. Quite a competitive time with a gap of just over 3 tenths down to Alvaro Carreton in second place. You have to remember, none of these drivers are slow. So, great
Definitely.
time.
Well, obviously Hypers did take pole last time out in Hungary, and that was by a little bit less of a margin. Danny gave it everything in that qualifying session at its home track, and it was not enough. Hypers just under a tenth clear on pole position, got a bit more of a comfortable margin, but of course these are the banker laps. So you just get your feet running, really. You know, hit the ground running, and just there's a lot of time to find. I'm sure. I think a low to mid 141 could be the time. I don't think 40s are going to be happening.
No, maybe not, but we can hope that it will be one of these times we're seeing as we ride on board here with Photon. Him coming through that first small corner of La Source, riding down full throttle just behind Formula Danny through a Rouge, then up to Radiant, down the Camel Straight, opens the DRS, maybe gets a small slipstream run from
he's getting a great slipstream.
Oh yes, that's great from him, all off the Alfa Romero of Formula Danny there, then coming through Lacombe, 7, 8 and then 9 there, getting them quite good on, not running wide or anything like that, then down to Brussels, that tough 180 corner, then down to turn 11, one of the few corners on this track without a name, then full throttle again, down to yellow flag, so that could just be a car getting out of the way through Pouon. Small dab on the brakes, not getting too wide through there, keeping it well on the circuit. Then coming down to the corner campus, that small section there, 13, 14, then down to 15, Stavelot. Then through 16, another corner of that name, doing quite well, setting a 1:14.2 through that sector, down towards Blanchimont. Oh, that's my voice is giving up on me currently. But through Blanchimont, down towards the bus-stop chicane of turn 19 and 20, hard braking just about the 100-meter board, chucking it in on the apex and both of the curves. They're opening the DRS. And that right there is a lap, 1:42.1. Great lap time from Photon there.
I think that slipstream that Danny gave him really benefited him. He gained quite like a 2 or 3 tenths on Hyper's first sector, but Hyper's coming up towards the line now, and he does improve. 1:41.8, but obviously he must have got that lap invalidated. But yeah, Photon second place at the moment. Carrington completes his lap and goes third fastest. The two Renaults actually being downgraded as Matthias goes in fourth in one of the Mercedes. The other Mercedes is coming through Puon right now as everyone is about to, well, on their second attempts. Hypers, I'm not sure what happened to him, but I think he might be going again, you know. No, I think he's giving some slipstream. Yeah, he is. So he's doing exactly what Danny did, giving slipstream for an opponent, not even his teammate. And Le Mans is actually getting slipstream from Matthias. So different teams giving each other help. Surely 3 times we've seen that scenario happen. This seems unusual. Surely it should be teammate on teammate slipstream action, but no, we've seen Hypers give the Red Bull of that was Carrington slipstreaming. The other Red Bull of Le Mans also got it. Not to mention Photon originally. So yeah, interesting tactics going on. Teamwork, which isn't teamwork in a way. I don't really know how to explain it because, yeah, but there's Jan Otmir in one of the Renaults going pole position with a 1:41.875. The Renaults aren't, well, they're a bit far away on track as there goes Danny. 41.7, are you okay? Wow. But I still think he probably thinks a few more tenths is fine. What a lap there. But yeah, 5 minutes to go this session, and the times are starting to tumble. Hyper's originally on provisional pole, now down in third. Now make that fourth as Carrington, as I said, finishes lap, and he now takes over on that third position.
Yes, now looking at a driver that's had a bit of issues since he joined this league. Currently down in 18th place, Mr. Anker, currently coming through Puon there. He did not finish his first race, then came 10th and then another DNF, currently on 1 point. He was very quick in F2, quite at the top for most of the races, and had some issues here and there, but mostly made it through, but just not really finding the pace here in F1. It'll be interesting to see what he can do today, as he's coming down to the bus stop chicane. Currently on an okay time as he's opening the DRS. Where will he end up on the grid? He'll be 9th place, 1:42.4.
Not a bad lap from him at all, actually. Yeah, he was very quick in F2. But I think F1 is probably where he's best matched. Probably fighting against some quicker opponents. But yeah, track action is quite, well, oblivious right now. There's not many drivers. I think Carrington is going to come into the pits. Yes, he's on his in lap. He was on mode 5, which gives me the indication that he was going to try again and almost slides it coming into the pit lane there. There's very tight pit lane here. So the mistakes, we have seen a few drivers crashing into the in AOR or in any league racing scenario. Really, it is hard. It is tighter than it looks on off board. But yeah, Denoso I think is the only one that's actually pushing at the moment, down in 13th, as you mentioned, not on the best run of form. Last time he raced was in Germany, and unfortunately DNF. I think he wasn't really happy with the track conditions when it started pouring down with rain. Hopefully, hopefully I was going to say hopefully it will be a different scenario for him. But yeah, another failed attempt of a lap for Donoso. He needs this back. Well, he's not got a lot of time to even. Does he have enough time to get back out? Obviously, it takes about 30-40 seconds.
It'll be close.
It'll definitely be close. He's risking it, but yeah, hopefully he'll be able to go out as his teammate. Photon is actually the only one who is on a lap at the moment.
Yeah, just started his, coming out just behind the Alfa Romeo, I think. Are we again going to be seeing?
Yeah, I think we are.
Again, some slipstreaming of opponents. Very, very peculiar tactics we're seeing today. Not something you'd normally see in any racing scenario. You would do your best not to give your opponents the slipstream advantage, but not today. We're seeing the drivers give each other, not just teammates, but opponents, the slipstream advantage.
Well, I do know that Photon and Danny are very close. They are both Hungarian, and I'm pretty sure they were both in the same team in season 15. Gosh, back on F1 2017. Take me back. But yeah, Photon and Danny are very close together, so it doesn't surprise me that Danny's giving him slipstream. But you know, Photon's shown a lot of pace, and he could challenge, possibly. He's a 10th up. If he nails his final sector, he could, if he nails it, and I mean nails it, he could maybe overthrow Danny, but it's very unlikely. He needs to gain three tenths in this bus stop chicane alone, and we know how good Danny is on this circuit. Obviously winner here on F1 Esports in 2018 and in 2019, but Photon comes up towards the line now. He improves but stays in 5th. But yeah, that slipstream work, I wonder if I'll do the exact same to Danny. I think he actually will return the favour. That will help Danny significantly. I'm not too sure if that happened on the previous lap, but I'm assuming it did. And that could be the difference between him and Paul. The Renaults, Jarno Otmir is close, but they are nowhere near each other, so they're not going to get any slipstream. Carrison won't get any slipstream. Neither will Hypers. Hypers actually slowing down, and actually he's done with qualifying because he can't start another lap. I'm not sure what happens to him.
Here comes Danny and Photon again, slipstreaming each other, as you mentioned, down that camel straight. Peculiar tactics there.
At the end of the day, I mean, this is league racing, but you know, it's not as competitive as maybe F1 Esports is. I doubt there'll be anything like this in F1 Esports. Tino, if you're in the chat, you can probably confirm this. But yeah, it's nice to see. Obviously, Danny and Photon obviously being very close. They obviously have a great connection, and probably discussed this earlier. So here comes Danny now. Through the right, then left-hander. Now down towards Stabilo. Prezi to P2. Stunning lap from the Slovakian. 5/10 he gained on his previous best, but not enough for pole position. Danny is 3/10 up on his personal best. This is insane for anyone. Like, this is unbelievable. But he has 2 more corners to go, and if he messes that up, he could be under threat from others around him. But into the final chicane of the bus stop, up towards the line now. Danny, so 141.385. He just smashes everyone else out the park. Jarno Otmir is not going to be quick enough. Alvaro Carreton is not going to get close to that. Formula Danny, barring any miracles, is going to be on pole position. Let's see what Carreton does out of the final chicane. Up towards the line. Can he go any better than 4th? No. Despite improving by a few tenths, he still remains in 4th. Alongside him on the 2nd row provisionally is Jarno Otmir, and it will be Jarno Otmir. They stay 3rd and 4th, so Danny's on pole, but Donoso could snatch anything off him. No, Donoso, without a time, that is a shocker of a qualifying from the Chilean, and he will not be happy with that whatsoever. But yeah, Danny on pole. The surprise of that qualifying has to be the Mercedes of TRL Prejne. I know he's really quick here, but I mean, saying that, he's still 4/10 off Danny. So that just shows how good Danny's lap time is, as he takes what would be his second pole of the season. Actually, I probably should look up. No, 5th. Wow. You can tell. You can tell we're newbies to this league. Yeah, what a lap. We've only been in since Germany, guys. Apologies. But yeah, what a lap. 4/10 clear.
Have I left the lobby again? No, I haven't. Right, and that's Formula Danny on pole position for you there. Prejne joins him on the front row there. Then Jarno Opmeer and Alvaro Carlos on the second row. Then Hypes in 5th, Photon 6th, Weigang 7th, Matthias in 8th, Le Man in 9th, Mr. Anker rounds off your top 10. Then Corny in 11th, Martin G in 12th, and Fabricio Donoso with no time in 13th place.
Yeah, not really disappointing from Donoso. We know how quick it can be, but starting at the back is a major disadvantage. Although Belgium is a track where you can overtake, to be fair, starting on pole could maybe be a downfall for Formula Danny, as you know, we've seen time and time again. We've seen Seb Vettel get past Hamilton on both, well, in 2018 and 19. 2019, unfortunately, was only for 2nd place. But yeah, what a lap time from Danny, and if his race pace is anything to go by, I don't want to say he's going to dominate, but it might be a more smoother race for him, like it was, like it wasn't last time out. Hopefully, he doesn't disconnect like he did last week as well. That'd be even worse. But yeah, formation lap is about to be underway.
And this is amazing, I'm still in the lobby. Right, let's just go down the tyres so we find out if my game has done its usual thing. Top 10 on softs, Corny mediums, Martin G softs, and Donoso mediums.
Well, Martin G is not racing, so there's only 12.
Oh, yeah. That's
but yes.
Weird.
But yes.
On my screen he is, but that's interesting.
I know he's there on the graphic, but there's no racing point car on the track.
Peculiar. So, everyone except Corny and Donoso on softs.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So finally the glitch has been sorted out.
Oh, watch out what you say. You never know.
But yeah, hopefully your connection issues don't resolve, and we do have to use Discord to broadcast this race. See, the reverse psychology is going to work. Okay, I'll tell you.
I see. All right, yeah. Let's try that then. It's worked before, then let's try it again. I hope everything crashes.
I hope everyone crashes. Every single driver crashes, and the race is over on lap 1. And we can get done. Sorry guys, stream's over. You only have the qualifying, we'll have to rerun it next week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, alright. Let's hope it works, or, well, let's hope it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's
the motto to live by. Pray everything doesn't work, and then it ends up working. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Enough of the nonsense we're talking out of our mouths. We've got more important matters to commentate over, because we have the Belgian Grand Prix here in AOR PCF1. 22 laps ahead of us on the longest race on the calendar, with Formula Danny on pole position for the 5th time in this season in the Alfa Romeo, where he has had such success. Will it be another win in the books for Formula Danny? He's got a lot of competitors here in Belgium, and we are underway for the first lap of 22 with a really good start actually for Presneder, but into turn 1 I think Danny will have it covered with the inside line. Jarno Opmeer stays in third position, and yes, Danny has kept hold of his third position. Jarno Opmeer looking very racy at the start. And there's Hypers and Photon going wheel to wheel into Eau Rouge and Radion, and Hypers just has the measure of the Toros. But now down towards Les Combes. There's the Mercedes going wheel to wheel. Presneder just hanging out. They're just drag racing towards Les Combes. Danny with the inside line. Presneder hanging in around the outside of turn 6 and 7. Just about. Danny with the outside line hangs on in there somehow. This guy is alien, I tell you. There goes Jarno Opmeer, actually. Diving down the inside. Presneder got outsmarted there by the Renault. He caught him napping after unsuccessfully getting past the Alfa Romeo down into a Les Combes. He's been caught napping there, and Jarno has made up a place at the start. As Hypers has actually got past Carrington as well in quite a chaotic opening lap. Former Danny, every challenge that gets put at him, he has an answer to. It's unbelievable. He's faced multiple challenges on that opening lap, and still, well, barring any major incidents, will lead them across the line in a few moments' time.
It was a great start, but also further down the field, we're seeing the man real close to his opponent of Matthias there, but just behind him, Donoso tries to take him. Donoso coming down from 12th place, going down the inside into the bus stop chicane. Will he have the move done? They're going side by side into the bus stop. Or the man defending the inside line there into the second part of the bus stop and keeps the place, but Donoso tries now around the outside. Not a move you normally see on those medium tires. And we're seeing Donoso coming up those two positions, but the man defending well. Coming through Eau Rouge up to Radion. They have to watch out for Corny behind now. Corny trying to get them both now. Are they going 3 wide? I think they're going 3 wide. Yes, they are. Down towards Les Combes. And it looks like Corny got them all 3 on the straight. The man dropping down to 12th there in that challenge.
I thought that had tears written all over it. What a move from Corny. He's already started to pull away from Donoso. Obviously, Donoso had to make up for the poor start. Just was too ambitious. I think just risk it all in the opening lap. And I think he made a few do-or-die moves on Le Mans. Obviously, he is now past the pole, but at the expense he's been overtaken by the Ferrari of Corny. So it's like taking 1 step forward, 1 step back. It really is taking 1 step forward, 1 step back. He's down, well, he's back down into 11th. Le Mans is currently last, as Martin G is not actually with us, unfortunately. 12 car field. Danny, well, is still leading, and now I think we're about to see the slipstream train commence, as Danny is. I mean, the gap between Danny and Photon in 7th is just not even 3 seconds, and we're on lap 3. We used to see a bit of a wider spread, but due to this circuit having so many straights where you can just claw a bit more time, I wonder now that DRS has been enabled, will Jarno Opmeer try and take the lead? He's actually he is he? I mean, he originally went for 0 ERS mode, thinking that there's no point, but actually it's Danny actually was no sign of defense. Mainly because I think he knows that there's no chance Jarno's going to pull away. But yeah, Jarno now leads. There's a change of leadership, and there's a change for 10th place. Donoso has now got past Corny, but they are by fighting away for the minor scrappings, they've lost touch. And Donoso is the only driver outside of DRS range of the driver in front. So that is 2 seconds just under behind Matthias. But hopefully, due to the fact that everyone's just clawing onto the tray, the back of the other car, then hopefully a bit of clean air for the next few laps he might be able to catch on and add himself back into contention, really. Obviously on those medium tyres, He'll be looking to go long. Who knows? Maybe he might be able to claw some positions on the softs come the end. But at the moment, Jan is actually doing a really good job. He's starting to pull away from Danny. But Danny's just always there, like he always is, and will stay within DRS range for a little longer soon.
Yes, and further back, we are seeing Hypers here, just on the back of Pressure, ready to attack if there is a small mistake anywhere. And it's interesting to see with these slipstream trains, you have these fights always just under the surface waiting, but it never happens, so you have to just hope for the mistake of the driver in front to see some racing. But here, as we're seeing further ahead, Jarno Otmien and Formula Danny fighting there. Danny getting the move done, and further back, Hypers trying to make the move on Pressure but not able to do so. So now Formula Danny back in the lead of this Grand Prix. I think those two are going to be swapping positions all through this race.
And Presnader, you know, he's dropping back a little bit. I'm surprised Hyper didn't risk that move, because I think that move might come back to haunt him. I don't think Presnader has the pace to come up. He's just about sticking within DRS range, but I think the top two are going to pull away. And the moment that Presnader loses DRS range, he's a sitting duck on any straight, really. And Hypers should have the measure of him down towards Les Combes next time around. But Presnader's recovered a little bit of time in Sector 2. He's now only 9/10, but I've actually gone outside of DRS range on the straight, so I don't think he's running the most aggressive aero setup in the world. He's losing time, hand over fist to Hypers, but Hypers obviously a wiser man than he was a few months ago. Now that he's a race winner here, he knows what's at stake now. Will not make any clumsy move down into the bus stop chicane. We'll just sit back, as Danny did set the fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly. But Jarno is still right there, as will. I'm not 100% sure where the DRS detection point is, but I don't think, let's say on board with Presnader, if the DRS symbol does not come up, expect Hypers. It doesn't. So the Mercedes does not have any DRS. Well, Jarno, what may try and move it down towards the Les Combes? No, I think Hypers will though. Down in towards Les Combes, he pulls to the inside. The Mercedes, not very resilient, lets the Williams go through and up into third place. Nice move there, but pretty easy, knowing that, well, Hypers just Presnader just couldn't keep up with the top two, and therefore lost out. And maybe is this Hyper's chance to claw back? It's 1.3 seconds between himself and the Renault of Jarno Opmeer, and you know, if anyone's going to gain that pace, it should be this man, especially considering, well, he is the previous race winner, and you know, he's got all that confidence in himself, and he's already starting to pull away a little bit from the Mercedes. But yeah, still a long way to go in this race, never mind. Still got a few more laps until the pit window. But yeah, further back, we'll have a check on the two medium runners. Corney's actually re-overtaken Denoso. So they're having a scrap of themselves, but they're just not clawing back onto any of the soft runners, which is kind of expected, really. You know, you would assume they're having their own race. But it's a matter of time of how long those mediums can last. But yeah, and let's keep an eye on them, as we have Presnader actually pitting already.
And Anchor.
Yeah, interesting. So the undercut is been pursued by the Mercedes. You know how good these guys are at pit stopping. Medium tires, of course. This has to be a good outlap from the Slovakian, otherwise he could be even further behind. But yeah, Hyper's now released his chase after the top two, and Jarno Opmeer actually. Another stop. Yep, there he goes. P1 belongs to Jarno Opmeer once again. If the guys in the chat are wondering why we're not overhyping this like I usually do when a move is made, we know these guys are just battling over thin air, really. We know these guys actually, well, a more incredible battle is Photon and Matthias. They're actually really battling it out. Matthias and Mercedes just has the measure of the Toro Rosso, but can Toro Rosso go around the outside? No. There's no room for him to do that. But yeah, you know what I mean? But they know what they're doing. These guys are incredible at what they do. They're just they're just swapping every single lap, usually because it's probably the best benefit. They're just like roping themselves together and just pulling away consecutively. Currently, you could say, whilst through the squabble for the latter positions. But yeah, lap 6 of lap 22, Jan Watmere is now the leader of this race.
You know, is it just me, or has the skies rolled in over the Ardennes?
You know what? My graphics aren't set to very high. I think it is.
I think we might see some rain if we're lucky.
We don't
sorry,
want rain,
sorry. No.
We don't want rain.
We might see some sunshine if we're lucky.
There we go.
If we're following that logic, we want sunshine.
Well, the fact that drivers are pitting, you know, Matthias, Le Mans and Photon are all in. It's confusing now, because you would think if it's about to rain, the guys would hold on the softs. I know they can last around 9 laps until they really hit the cliff. And if it was about to rain, they'll surely put on a new set of softs. It's very interesting what's going on here. Maybe it'll lighten up, but I do agree with you, gents. It is getting darker. But will it get dark enough and will those clouds, you know, start pouring down the rain, or will it just stay overcast? It's a lot of interesting strategies going on. We don't obviously, unfortunately, we have no indication of any weather. We could ask the drivers, but I think they're busy doing their own thing. So, yeah, it's a guessing game for us, and it's kind of giving a hint of suspense, really. What's going to happen next?
Maybe Denoso and Corny are on the right strategy. Maybe those medium tires are going to go bang on till the rain comes down. Who knows? Well, only one thing to do. Crack on with the race and see what happens.
Yeah, that's all we can do at the moment. We are oblivious to what the drivers know. Anyway, any more pitters? Danny pits. Interesting, from second place in this race, Formula Danny is into the pits for what should be his one and only stop in today's race, pitting on the medium tyres. Alvaro Carreton and Typers are all in, making it a Renault 1-2 now as Simon takes second place. Then Donoso is now up into third with his medium companion, Corny. Danny will come out in 5th place. Oh no!
Oh, Preshnader's out. What happened to him? Someone Sector 3. Preshnader left the session.
If you go on board with Martin G, you can see his ghost car strolling down the pit lane. Oh.
That's interesting.
What a shame. Starting from second, you would think he would have the pace to maybe challenge Danny for the win. It just hasn't gone his way. As his teammate actually makes up, well, not makes up for it at all, but he must have made the Mercedes garage a little bit happier in what would be a sober mood. But yeah, Matthias went to 9th. I don't know what happened to the Slovakian, but yeah, what a shame, Philip. Picked up damage, maybe realised it was going to rain and realised his chances of winning have been thrown out the window. Who knows? But at the moment, it's Renault 1-2. Danny is in 5th place, comfortably ahead of Hypers, who's ahead of Alvaro Carreton. There'll be quite a few laps before Danny catches up to Corny and Donoso. They swap places once again. Will Jarno pit and respond to Danny? He has to, surely. Yep. He's in. Simon will continue and will now take over the lead. Jarno needs a good stop from his Renault crew, pit boys. Otherwise, he could be at risk from former Danny. He's had a very good outlap, gained around the second on the 2 medium runners in front, which is expected. He's going to gain time on those guys. They've got fresher tyres, obviously. But yeah, Jarno comes out of the pits. They're both coming through an effective turn 1, and Danny actually has done the undercut. He's made it work. Crucially, Jarno comes out ahead of Hypers, though, who's under all sorts of pressure from Alvaro Carreton, and I will get the feeling that the Red Bull will be overtaking the Williams, as Donoso and Corny both switch places. There goes Donoso, breezing past the Williams. It's like watching Williams in 2019 in real life. But Carrington's now through.
Yes, well done move there, and we saw Donoso past Cornius well ahead. Them switching positions have done so all race. Down that long straight towards Lacombe, that Camel Straight. A place where you often see those moves just down the inside with the slipstream, and there's nothing much you can do.
Apparently, Prix was put on softs, so that is why he retired. Thank you, Adders, for in the chat for letting us know that. That's such a shame. The pit crew messing the Mercedes. You don't often see Mercedes making mistakes in the pit crew. But yeah, a one-time error, and it's cost the Slovakian dearly. He is our, in theory, first retirement, but I'll say second because Martin retired in qualifying. Or left, I should say. But yeah, he is our first victim of the race event. Simon's in, the last driver on the soft to pits. That'll mean Donoso will take the lead. So starting plumb last is now into the lead. Of course, these two have to pit once again. But if it rains, you never know. It could be beneficial for these two. But yeah, Danny is now back into third, and Simon will be joined in around about between. Well, just ahead maybe? Yeah, just ahead of Anker. But you know what, he's actually going to be under pressure. Cold tyres, no temperature in them whatsoever. Anker's got a bit more experience, 4-lap old medium tyres. This should be an easy pass. Both Renault power. Obviously everyone's got the same engine, everyone's got the same car in theory in F1 2019 online. But no, Anker actually decides against getting past the Renault. Interesting tactics there, yeah. Maybe he sees no point because Simon's obviously seems to be quicker. But yeah, battle for 7th still goes on.
Yeah, interestingly, Mr. Anker actually closed his DRS while he was full throttle down the straight. So yeah, clearly not wanting to overtake the Renault for 7th place.
Unless he's got a DRS failure mid straight, but that's unlikely. I think that was a tactical decision. Although DRS failures are more common than they probably should. You know, it can plague many drivers' races. Hopefully it hasn't plagued Anker, and that was a tactical decision from him to close his DRS. But yeah, he's battling for 7th place. The battle at the front is still raging on between these two. Fabrizio Donoso must be sick of that Ferrari in his sights, whether it be ahead of him or behind. But yeah, they're going to carry on. Danny's gaining hand over fist really over the top two, but he's pulling Jan along with him. I think those two are just going to stick together and try and pull away. As Alvaro Carlton obviously has got past Hypers, but just can't get within DRS range of the two drivers in front, and is pulling along Hypers. So in theory, these are 3rd and 4th. As there goes Donoso once again past Cordy. They should be pitting around about lap 14, I would say, maybe a bit earlier. But yeah, they'll stay in the lead probably until they pit really. But Donoso having a good race so far. Probably battling too much for his own liking, but he's kept it clean, which is the most important part. And you know, it's going to be an interesting final few laps with him on the softs, and obviously Corny as well on the soft as well. Let's see what they can do.
Yes, and of course it is two drivers that has shown before that they do have the pace to challenge. So them on the soft tyres with everyone else on old medium tyres, that would be quite interesting to see what would happen. And that's something we will be able to see at the end of this race.
I think unfortunately the reverse psychology didn't work. I think the clouds are starting to drift away from the Ardennes and probably back into Brussels or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to rain. I think the sky's getting a little bit clearer than what rain would give, obviously. So unfortunately, I don't think there'll be any rain forecast for this race, which is expected because You know, why would drivers pit onto mediums when there's going to be raining in 5 laps? So yeah, it makes sense now, the strategies from everyone. The top 2 are still... they're still battling ridiculously hard. Too hard for probably they want, but yep, they swapped once again. And Jarno actually has swapped once again with Danny in the battle for 3rd place. Will Hypers do the same? Nope, he's too far back. So Jarno retakes a provisional lead, retakes 3rd place on the track currently. Regarding penalty situation, I don't think we've seen any penalties so far.
I think
I
maybe
know we do.
Denoso, yeah. Yeah.
Apart from that, just scrolling through, yeah, no one else has got a penalty.
No, I think Denoso's had some troubles with the track limits today. He, of course, set no time in qualifying. I think that was due to him maybe extending the track a bit too much, and that's then showing here in the race with him getting a bit too many warnings.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, speaking of
penalties.
Sorry if I wouldn't say we cursed him, but
we kinda did.
Sorry, Simon.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he's comfortably pulled away from Anko, who's just about within DRS range. There's not really much to fight for Simon. He's too far back.
Corny pits.
Yes.
Corny pits. What tyre? He will be, of course, probably going on to the soft tyres. Anything else would be weird, but that would mean I think about 9 laps ish on these soft tyres. Doable if he isn't racing too much and if he can preserve those tyres. But of course, if he'll be in the same battle with Denoso for the rest of the race, it could be they may be wearing a bit too much. But let's hope that we will see them through to the end and see some great battling with the other guys.
Speaking of battling, the battle for 7th place, Matthias is battling away with Photon in the 2nd Toro Rosso. Obviously, his teammate is currently leading this Grand Prix. I think for Corny, I think the maximum for today is maybe 6th or 5th, maybe, as that's what the position Simon will inherit after Donoso pits. So I think that's the maximum that someone like Corny or Donoso could achieve. Obviously, that'll be helped with Simon's penalty. Donoso, obviously, I'm just going to say Corny because Corny is obviously penalties. It was important that he came out ahead of Le Mans. Le Mans, unfortunately, just isn't living up to the pace of the other drivers in today's race. He just doesn't have the pace, simply. But hopefully, for next time out in Monza, he'll be more competitive because we like Le Mans here. He's a very competitive driver, but unfortunately Belgium just doesn't seem to be his forte. Donoso is now in the pits, obviously would expect that to respond to Corny. Now that promotes Jarno Opmeer back into the lead of the race with just under 9 laps to go. Of the top 2 are now penaltyless. It's Danny's. Well, Danny kind of is the decision maker, because if he wants to get past Jarno Opmeer, he can. Donoso comes out ahead of Le Mans, but behind Corny. I definitely think Donoso has the pace. There goes Hypers, actually. Hypers actually is overtaking Carroton, so is this Hypers time to put the pressure on the top 2? Can he sniff any chance of victory? It's unlikely, but you never know. You know, after winning last time out, can he do it once again? It'll take something to knock the top 2 off the top 2. But if anyone's going to do it, surely it's going to be the Williams.
Yes, of course, and Danny now has to watch out, because if he doesn't want to overtake Opmeer and just sits behind, maybe loses a bit of time, then Hypers will just come up from behind, maybe dragging Carroton with him, and then it'll be a 4-way fight for the lead instead of just the casual 2-way fight Formula Danny and Jarno Opmeer is having currently. So they'll both have to watch out and not try to lose each other time if they want to keep in control of this race.
I'll say on Donoso, I think we're looking to get back onto the back of Corny. He's actually been overtaken by Le Mans. So he must have made a mistake somewhere on his first lap on the softs. As there he goes, he's now, well, he aggressively weaved past Le Mans. And that's what I saw from the broadcasting point of view. So he's now back into P10, but now 2.6 seconds back of Corny, and obviously with that 3-second time penalty, as Corny does set the fastest lap, that'll be an extra point. Unless obviously he fails to finish inside the top 10. There's only one driver who can prevent him from doing that at the moment. But yeah, he's turning the pace on, and the battle in front of him, these guys are losing time a lot. Matthias, Anker and Photon. As there goes Anker. He does not have a DRS failure, thankfully. He's using a DRS to overtake the Mercedes and to move himself up into P6. But there's the Ferrari lurking in the distance. You can see these guys battling really hard, and he's just licking his lips in prospect of potentially overtaking not one, not two, but hopefully for him, all three drivers. But he's not got a lot of time to do it. Only 7 and a bit laps left to go of this race. But then again, that's a long time in theory, because this track is long.
Yeah, but he is almost within the DRS range. There he goes. So, if he can keep up with them, as I can't imagine it'll be too difficult with them scrapping away, then he will have the DRS come the start-finish straight and the camel straight. So he will now join this fight. Actually, Anker getting a bit away from this train almost. But yeah, Corny now come to join this fight for 6th place. And if he can't get past them quick enough, Donoso will just come from behind, and of course he'll be pressuring them as well, even though he has his 3-second time penalty.
Set the fast lap of the race as well. So he's obviously showing his pace, but is it too little too late? Obviously he does have Corny in front of him, who obviously has the freshest set of tyres. But here we go then. Onto the camel straight we go. I think we said Anker was pulling away, but the power of DRS has nothing to defend himself from. There goes the tyres through. Can Photon follow through? No, there's a bit of contact, but nothing more than that. And Anker stays hold of that 7th place, but he seems to be struggling out of the out of turn 7 there. And there's Corny right on the back of Photon, always pushing him through. Here's Corny's into No Name. They go now. 3 cars separated by just under a second as they head through Prawn right now. You can just tell how much more grip the Ferrari has, but he's not able to unleash it yet because he's just stuck with it under the dirty air of the Toros behind. And Anker, oh no, a 3-second time penalty. That will ruin his chances of getting anything better than a P7 finish today. So that in theory, Corny's already ahead of 1, but not on track. He needs to get past these 2 really quickly, maybe these 3, if he wants any chance of being within that 3-second threshold that Simon has. So that his penalty, he goes through at Blanchimont. You don't have to see these moves getting done here, but the Ferrari's going to try it, and he has it sorted. Photon will try and defend, but he's got nothing. He's got nothing on the tyre advantage, and the Ferrari on the soft compound tyres makes one of his moves. Obviously, Photon did not do much of a help for his teammate Donoso behind him. Oh, no contact! Oh, Photon hits the rear, and that's cost the Ferrari dear. That rhymed, actually. Photon, I think, did he get any front wing damage? I'm surprised if he didn't.
I don't think he did.
Wow, a lucky escape, and you know what? He might actually overtake the Ferrari. This will be very, very controversial. In towards Les Combes. Oh, a bit of revenge there from Corny, and Photon has to make way for his teammate. Donoso goes down the inside. These 2 have been scrapping all race long, and Corny does not want Donoso in his sights whatsoever. He wants him behind him, but Donoso has other thoughts. Through into No Name, the Ferrari with the inside lane. Can Donoso go around the outside? No, there just is not enough room. But no, this has cost Corny so dear. Look how far ahead Anker is. this has been absolutely worst case scenario for the Ferrari of Corny, and now, you know, he wants to catch up to Anka, he will catch up to Anka, but he's got a Toro Rosso Donoso right on his gearbox, and we know how quick Donoso is. So we could be seeing Donoso overtake Corny in the battle for 8th place. Where Anka's got a big sigh of relief seeing that battle unfold behind him. As Carrison's got a 3-second time penalty. 5 seconds.
5. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, wait, that means he'll still keep his position because there's just over a 5-second gap down to Simon Waygang, who also has a 3-second time penalty. So that's interesting. He'll keep his place. And actually, it looks like he will go for move on Hypers down the Camel Straight with DRS. Round the outside, DRS wide open. Has the move done way before the braking zone. Not really much to say there. Just a standard move.
With that 5-second. I wonder if he can get that appealed, because I think there's something bugged in the bus stop chicane. I think if you skip it a little bit, it's an automatic 5-second penalty, not even a warning. I'm going to look at Keratin's race director and see how many warnings he's got. Oh, he does have 2, so I think that will be his 3-second time penalty anyway for being his 3rd warning. So I don't really think he has much to protest when the stewards come calling. If he decides to appeal it, unless those warnings were for collisions. But from what I know, Keratin has had a pretty solid race, pretty clean, and he's only really been involved in a battle with him and Hypers. But he's going to try and catch up to the top 2, as Danny is re-overtaken Jarno, I think. Yes, I think. I think so. But yeah, those top 2 are swapped once again. We've only got 4 laps to go once they cross the line here. And obviously both of these guys do not have any penalties. So now Jarno has control of whether he wants to get past him on this lap or maybe next lap. I think the best thing to do will be, well, obviously try and overtake on the last lap down towards Les Combes. But let's see. As they come up Throw Rouge and Radion for the 19th time, the top 4 separated by 1.7 seconds. Another real nail-biter of a race. Here comes Jarno. He's put the ERS motor over to overtake, and he's going for it. He's not just going for it, he's gone for it, and he's done it. He is now back up into the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix. Obviously, Danny not fighting for that whatsoever. You know, Keratin and Hypers, as Donoso, I think, have just got past Anka in the battle for 7th, as has Corny. But yeah, Hypers, Keratin's actually not pulled away from Hypers. Hypers doing a really good job sticking with the Red Bull. But they've both clawed into the top 2. And you know, Keratin, you know, even with his 5-second penalty, maybe could challenge the top 2, but I just think they can pull away when they please. I just don't think Keratin will have the pace in him to. He'll obviously stick with them, but overtaking is a different matter. Obviously, with the DRS on Danny and DRS and Keratin are kind of cancelled out. So I think it really is between Jarno, Otmir, and Danny for this win. It'll be a miracle if Hypers wins, but I don't think he'll mind it whatsoever. But I think it'll be settled. I think he'll take a podium. I'm not sure what expectations he had in for this race. But yeah, just under 3 laps. Well, 3 laps to go when they cross the line. We saw Donoso and Corny get past Anka. Anka looks like he's struggling a lot. Those tyres, he's got the oldest tyres in the entire field at the moment. 13 laps on his mediums, and they seem to be falling off the cliff just ever so slightly. And he's now got Fulton right behind him, who I think will be trying to get past for that 9th position.
Yeah, but looking for the fight further ahead, Keratin close to Formula Danny with some slipstream on him. Will he be able to make the move? Formula Danny a bit too far back on Jarno Otmir and doesn't seem to want to be overtaking, so looks like he'll be sticking behind him until the last lap and then overtake him then, which would be, I think, would be the smartest strategy if he can pull it off. But it is also a bit dangerous if he mistimes it, because then he'll be stuck behind the Renault. But this almost turned into a 4-way fight for the lead. Of course, only a 3-way fight because of Alvaro Carreton's penalty.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Spaniard, but I don't think I'll have much to contest with. Obviously, he can probably get that removed, well, reduced to a 3 second. That will still keep him in P4, but the fact that the 3 other drivers are surrounding him are all penaltyless, yet, will mean that he'll drop down to P4. But yeah, heck, I think he can take a lot of solace from this race. There's still 2 laps to go. And you know what? Danny's just falling a little bit back. But if you look at the ERS levels, you can... But the top 2 have got 90%, compared with Carroton's 46 and Hyper's 40. That just shows that even though they are incredibly quick, they know how to manage a race as well. You know, Danny's only at 100% ERS. That's incredible on the penultimate lap. You gotta start using a lot, Danny, like pretty much all of it, if you want to win this race though, bud. And he's gonna try, but I think he's too far back. He is. You know what? Carroton's closer to Danny than Danny is to Jarno.
I think what they've been waiting to do, I think they're waiting to do hot lap ERS on the final lap, but that will of course cancel each other out, because they'll both be using it with the amount of ERS they have left. Yeah, coming up to the final lap here, or soon to be, Formula Danny 5/10 off Jarno Opmeer. It's going to be close to see if you can get him on the camel straight, because if surely the driver that leads into Le Com will be the one that wins this race, since there's not really any open opportunity and it is quite hard to follow closely in these corners.
Yeah,
Danny dropping even further. Don't think he has the tyres to challenge Jarno Opmeer. Has he mistimed it? He's into overtake, or actually hot lap ERS, and Jarno Opmeer is in 0 ERS. So let's see as they comes on to the final lap. Hypers, I think he'll just be sticking behind Carreton, waiting for his penalty to be applied. Coming through the source at turn 1 hairpin, coming down towards Rouge and then Radion. I think Formula Danny, he's close.
Oh, you know what?
It'll be close. Will he be able to do it? Coming down towards Le Com. He's close with the slipstream all the way to the right hand side. They go side by side into Le Com. There's still side by this Formula Danny has it. Will this mean that he gets the race win? I don't know. Maybe Jarno Opmeer will fight back. He does. Oh, he has a small look. Almost a bit of contact. It's so close between these two. Alvaro Carreton just sticking behind, operating as a great camera car for these two. Now down to Pouillon. Will Jarno Opmeer go for the move? No, he won't. Will Jarno Opmeer have lost this race, or will he go for the move somewhere else? I don't know. Still sticking behind. Coming through down towards Stavelot. Coming through with it. They're close, but I think Formula Danny's got it.
Last chance is bus stop chicane, but
yes,
I don't think Jarno Opmeer is close enough.
No, 4/10. Gonna just jump on board with him. He's in overtake ERS.
Nah.
Will he be able to? No, he's too far back. Oh, goes a bit to the right side to see if he can get the move done. He can't. He's all the way up in Formula Danny's gearbox. Opens the DRS, but he won't be able to do it. Formula Danny gets the race win over Jarno Opmeer. These two drivers have been challenging each other all through the race, but not able to overtake on the final lap. Formula Danny getting it into Le Com with the DRS. Almost been forced onto the grass. And actually Fabricio Donoso closes his way up to 8th place, but what a fight we saw at the top as the game sound has suddenly disappeared for me. I don't know why, but wow, what a race.
I don't know why, But as they approached the final lap and through the source, I just had boss music in my head as Danny closed up and then overtook him. Yes, I know I'm strange. But yeah, whilst we were looking at that, we had a great scrap behind. Matthias and Corny was having a drag race towards the line. We didn't see that on broadcast, unfortunately, but I managed to pick it up whilst you were rambling on how dramatic that final lap was. But yeah, Danny made his move count when it mattered. I had doubts, but what? I have doubts myself now about the fact that I doubted former Danny. Unbelievable. He takes another win to add to Germany. I think Germany was his only previous win. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
No, he won in Silverstone as well.
Yeah, Silverstone
That's
and Germany.
his third win of the season. And I think that's by far the most difficult of his 3 wins. 3 tenths, just under, well 4 tenths, pretty much, in the end it was, separating the two of them. Hype is third, Carroton 4th, should be 4th. Simon obviously kept 5th despite his 3-second time penalty. Good work from him, getting more points to Renault in the Constructors' battle. Corny home in 6th, ahead of his Polish compatriot Matthias, who was side by side towards the line. Denoso managed to get 8th with that 3-second time penalty. He had a really good pace in the end, but that 3-second time penalty obviously did cost him quite a lot. Photon was down in 9th, and Anchor, I think, rounded out the points. But he left it late, Danny, but again, he just never fails to surprise you.
No, that is true. A great driver, and a great drive from him and Jano Opmeer, of course, as well. Jano Opmeer, that means that he'll just extend his gap in first place of the Drivers' Championship, as Hypers didn't get any points over him, unfortunately for him. But Danny Beresnay, or former Danny in the game, in 3rd place there, clawing up some points on Hypers in 3rd place. So yeah, what a race that was. And I think that's going to be all for us this evening. If you don't have anything else to add onto that, James?
Well, Belgium and Monza are quite similar with the fact they've got loads of straights. If we get anything like that race we've just had in Monza, then we should be up for Tifosi. I think we'll be very happy, especially if we get Alfa Romeo winner as well. That'd be great.
Yes, and of course it is Monza and the Italian Grand Prix coming up next week, and we will of course hope to see you for that as well. But unfortunately that has been all for us this evening, and we'll hope to see you next week. Until then, have a good one.